Duelist in the Friendship Cup. Chapter 11. Battle Break. The stands of Caroline High and Crystal Prep began to slowly empty, the students variably heading down the street to a small strip mall and going inside the school. On the field, Applejack stood up and turned as her friends went up to her. "You did great, AJ!" Rainbow grinned as she held out her fist. Applejack pumped her fist and nodded. "Thanks, Rainbow. I got no regrets. Played the best game I could." First I bit her lip. "We're down 2 games still. We both lost." Sunset narrowed her eyes and her arms crossed, nodded. "Yeah, because you guys were outmatched. Their decks moved just too fast and hit too hard to stand up to them." The other five turned their heads to look at her. Sunset's expression softened as she shook her head. "Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. It's just, this isn't right. Applejack, you're one of the best duelists in school, and if you hadn't pulled those dragons out in the end, she would have crushed you." "Welcome to the Friendship Cup," Rainbow snorted. "You should have seen it 2 years ago. We didn't win a single duel. So once we lost 4 duels the first day, they called out the second day's duels." "Yeah, they tried to," Randy said gently. "Principal Sabra was adamant the duels continue, and they did. They're all STEM as well." "That's ridiculous." Sunset looked at the table where the principals and vice principals were sitting. "If he wants to give his students an ego stroke, there should all be ways to do it without having to humiliate us." Pinky held up her hands. "What's he gonna do? It's not like he can just stop over there and start screaming in his face, and there she goes." The five watched as Sunset began walking towards the principals. Applejack shook her head. "I'll go stick around for this. Anyone want head, sack, grab a snack?" Pinky grinned. "Ooh! The third floor vending machines by the stairs breaking on Thursday. Let's go." She grabbed Rainbow and Applejack by the wrist and pulled them towards the school, leaving Fireside to follow. Rarity glanced back at Sunset before going with her friends. Sunset stepped on the grass in front of the table. Celestia was talking to Luna while Sombra worked on a laptop, and Rainy and Hope was doing some sort of paperwork. "Principal Celestia?" Celestia looked up for Luna. "Ah, yes, Sunset. Pardon my interruption, but I'd like to speak to you for a moment about the Friendship Cup." "Certainly. What is it?" "What is the point of the Friendship Games?" Celestia slipped a hand over the assembled crowd. "We like to foster goodwill and community between our two schools, Sunset. Calumet High and Crystal Prep are the two largest schools in the region. It's a friendly inter-school rivalry, no different than any other. Simply express your dual monsters instead of athletics or grades. It's a day where both our students can mingle together and bond over a game they both enjoy." "But it isn't!" Sunset pointed to the scoreboard displaying the 2-0 record. "As I hear it, every year Crystal Prep wipes the floor with Caroline High. I'm seeing it happen again now. It doesn't seem much like a friendly rivalry."
Celestia,
Sabra said, raising his eyes from his laptop.
if I may interject for a moment."
"Of course, Principal Sombra." Sunset turned to Sombra and faltered for a moment as he looked at her, his green eyes piercing her teal.
"Miss Shimmer, the wins or losses of either school are irrelevant. What's important is the sense of school pride one gets from showing in this tournament. It is a day when, no matter what tournaments we may have as separate institutions among our students, we can unite them as one against a greater opponent."
"But we always lose," Sunset stressed. "I heard that even when we've lost all 4 duels the first day, you've insisted on holding the next 3, even though the tournament's a lost cause at that point. What's the point of dueling your students when they're clearly better than us and they're obviously going to win?" Sombra frowned, his brows creasing.
"I must say, sir, for a champion duelist you seem to have a very pessimistic view on this game."
Sunset was taken aback. "What?"
"True. Our students have access to better cards due to their personal wealth, and our educational facilities focus on duel monsters, and thus they know the game better. But this is hardly a promise of victory, as past individual losses of our duelists will attest."
Sombra narrowed his eyes slightly.
"Besides, if I may ask you on a personal level, what sort of attitude is it to have, where if victory is unlikely, yet not impossible, you give up on those grounds? That's hardly a constructive attitude, especially in a game like Duel Monsters."
Sombra folded his hands together and cupped them on the side of the table as he leaned forward.
"There's a saying among some, the duel isn't over until the last card played. I believe very thoroughly in that idea. One can never be certain of victory or defeat at any time, or for until one's life points reach 0. Any card they draw could reverse a loss, or leave them floundering despite having a lead. Tournaments are the same way. True, there have been occasions where Crystal Prep has won all 4 day 1 duels, but then what if Canterlot High were to win all 3 duels the next day? Sunset shifted her weight between her feet. I guess that's a fair point, but not to mention that, on an individual basis, there is one's performance to take pride in. Sabra smiled. I did see your friends congratulate each other on their dueling so far, and rightfully so. Even if they did not win, they have to put an impressive performance against us, and I can promise you that my duels do not make errors or go easy on opponents. Are they wrong to take pride in themselves based only on the outcome of their duels, and not on hard-fought games they played up to that point? You're twisting what I said. I am merely paraphrasing a supposition I believe you provided, but perhaps I misunderstood. My apologies, then. Allow me to restrict my points. Even if victory is unlikely, it is worth playing on the chance that it may be yet attained, and that is true of both of a duel and a tournament. And the outcome of these duels does not matter. Just the skill one shows in them. If Crystal Pratt were to lose this day, I would be disappointed, but it would not bother me too greatly. All I care about is to enjoy the duels you and your friends put on, seeing how you fare against my duelist, and that has always been my desire in the Friendship Cup year after year. Sabra sat back. Is that an acceptable answer to your original question? Sunset paused. Sabra looking at her, waiting for an answer. How did he turn this around on me like that? I came here ready to yell at him and put him in his place. Now I'm agreeing with him. She took a deep breath. You'll do. It felt difficult to put ambiguity in her response. Excellent. Sabra stood up. I'm glad we could assuage your concerns. Good luck to you when your time to duel comes. I'm quite interested in what you have to show me. He went to Celestia. He gave a small bow of his head. If you'll excuse me, Celestia, I have business I will attend to before our intermission is ended. Of course. Thank you. Hope, if you would. Sabra nodded Celestia, then Sunset, and turned to walk towards the parking lot. Rain and Hope stood up and followed closely behind him. Sunset let out a breath. Yeah, that was scary. I know. Sunset did a double take and looked at Celestia. Huh? He does have quite a way with words, doesn't he? Celestia raised her eyebrows. I often feel our conversations are framed in the context of me being subordinate, even if that is hardly the case. He can be quite present when he wishes to be. She shook her head and looked up at Sunset. Even so, he's not wrong. I know it could be frustrating for our students to do poorly here, but it is worth trying, isn't it? Yes, Sunset sighed. It doesn't seem fair. They're so much better than us. I know, but that is hardly out of my hands. Even if we offered more education on the advanced mechanics of the game, the students here don't have access to the cards Crystal Prep does. And opening the school's dual rules to the advanced mechanics would mean that those of you who can afford those better cards will start winning more often. And then we're in the same situation we are with Crystal Prep now. Sunset nodded. I get it. It sucks. But it's as fair as you can make it. But that doesn't mean it still doesn't suck. Celestia gave her a small smile. I won't say you're wrong, Sunset. What I will say is that you and your friends are some of the best duelists we've seen in years. If anyone could win the Friendship Cup, it's you. I feel better about our chances this year than any other in recent memory. Thank you, Principal Celestia. Sunset blushed and returned her smile. That means a lot. She went to the Crystal Prep branch. I just wish I could focus on the tournament and not keep thinking about. She stopped herself. Twilight? Abstract pressed the keypad to confirm her selection. The coils of the vending machine turned, pushing a chocolate bar forward until it fell to the bottom. She squatted down and reached her hand to the slot and retrieved a treat. I have to cut back on this canned junk food. Granny says it's gonna make me fat. Pinky let out a huff. You like candy? What kind of mad woman is she? I gotta stay healthy, Punky. I work the farm fields. Randy nodded. And not everyone has the same sweet tooth you do. She stepped into the machine and smiled as she pressed her coins into the slot. Are they some big snack chips for you to me? The coils turned and Rarity crouched to grab the bag from the next slot. What do you think's gonna do next? Rainbow asked the five walking down the hall. Abstract shrugged. It's random, who knows?
I do hope Flash or Subset comes next. Randy gave a small sigh. I have no doubt either of them could pull out a win without difficulty. The rest of us will have it more difficult. Rainbow nodded. Flash for sure. Sunset, probably. She snickered. Just had a thought. No, it'd be funny or cool for her to get matched with. Twilight? Yeah. Er, no. The group turned as Flashlight fell a step. She pointed towards the door to the computer lab. The group came back and peeked in the window. Twilight sat in one of the computers in the otherwise empty room, typing randomly. She leaned closer to the screen and adjusted her glasses. Reached into her pocket and took out her phone. What's he doing? Rainbow whispered. It seems he's making a phone call. No kidding. Twilight finished tapping her screen and raised her phone to the ear. A humming and high-pitched beeping filled the air. All four sets of eyes turned from the window. Pinky, your skirt's vibrating, Rainbow hissed. It does that sometimes, no biggie. Randy groaned. It's your phone! Oh, it's a bit specific. Pinky reached into the pocket of her skirt and pulled out her phone. What's up? Uh-huh. No, I'm not busy. I'm just in the hall with my friends watching you. Inside the computer lab, Twilight turned her head towards the door. Pinky grinned and waved her hand towards the lab. Twilight's mouth moved. Pinky nodded. Sure. She opened the door and stepped into the lab. Is this better? Yes. Twilight hung up her phone and slid it into her pocket. Pinky looked at her phone with a pout as the duck call disconnected. Hi! Rainbow raised her hand and waved. Hello. Twilight looked between them. I had wanted to ask Pinky a few questions, but now I'm wondering why you were spying on me. Rarity stepped forward. Hands clasped over her front, smiled. So sorry for that, dear. We didn't mean to snoop. We were just wondering what you were doing. Well, that's what I wanted to ask Pinky about. I see here she maintains the school's Duelist database, and thought she could answer a question. Twilight gestured her hand to the computer. The five came closer and saw the homepage for Caroline High on the screen. Currently at the rendering page. I was looking at the Duelist profiles of you five. I hadn't heard of you before this tournament, and was wondering why you had chosen to compete. That's easy. Rainbow pulled a chair over and sat down, the arm over the back. We're awesome! I see. Twice stared at Blanky. Abstract rolled her eyes. What Rainbow means is that we're friends with the winner of the last tournament, and the school likes us. Ah, that makes sense. Twilight nodded. The win-loss records for some of you didn't seem to reflect what I expect for tournament entrance, so I assumed it was popularity. What's that mean? Rainbow asked, lowering her eyes. You saying we ain't good enough to compete against you? No. Twilight scratched her face and shook her head. Assuming that some of you, anyway, don't seem to have a win-loss record constant with being the school's best duelist. How can you tell that? Blair's eye asked. While I was browsing, I looked at the profiles of several other students here. I did some rough calculations to get a ranking for each of them. Assuming the one I looked at with the highest ratio, last century, is the top ranked. For example, you would rank approximately in the 30th percentile. First, I blinked. You figured that out by looking at our website profiles? Yes, though I didn't have time to look at all of them, and based on this small sample size, my conclusions are being presented with a considerable margin of error. Oh, okay. I noticed something else on this site, too. Twilight turned to the computer and clicked on another page, bringing up a poster for the Autumn Crown tournament. This website claims that a duelist named Wind Whistler was the victor of your last tournament. I can't find a record of her in the directory, and no one I ask about her seems to know who I'm talking about. Yeah, well, Reba read the back of her neck. Turns out it was someone faking like you were a new student. It just happened by that weekend. And they won in the tournament, so Celestia let them. Then when it ended, they never showed up again. Piggy 9. I looked at their profile and put an alias in. Twilight frowned. So, the winner of the previous tournament was someone who entered under false pretenses? Who? I know several of you dueled them, and you said you were friends with them. Rarity shook her head. It's difficult to explain. Why? Doesn't matter, Applesack interjected. The point is, they ain't here now, so you don't need to worry about that. What we ought to be focusing on is the tournament now. Quite, quite nodded. I'm disappointed the duels have been one-sided so far. The tournament is more interesting to watch when Canterlot is able to challenge us properly. Yeah, we done fine. Applesack smiled and put her arm around Fluttershy. We did our best. No regrets. Fluttershy smiled. At least we had fun trying. Most institutions that encourage a competitive atmosphere use expert rules. Twilight said, if you want to have a better chance of defeating our school next year, perhaps you consider asking Celestia to implement a rule change for tournament play. Casual is more fun, Piggy said. That's why they call it casual. Otherwise they call it meaning no fun rules or serious business rules. Twilight gave a small smile. Not inappropriate names. We take dueling very seriously at Crystal Prep. It's the launching point for a lot of careers of duel monsters. Her smile fading. If you don't mind me saying, if any of you wanted to pursue a future as professional duelists, it would help a lot of you to enroll at Crystal Prep. Yeah, right, Rainbow rolled her eyes. Like any of us could afford it. There are scholarship programs if you show skill in dueling or have advanced academic knowledge. That's how I got admitted. Really? Rarity raised her eyebrows. Yes. Twice smiled proudly. I was in my first year of elementary school when I began development of an algorithm to calculate a value I called duelist level. It took into account multiple factors in deck building, including consistency, speed, field control, and hand control, produced proper statistics on how effective a duelist deck is. Principal Sombra heard of my program and met with me, and after I explained to him how it worked, he invited me to attend Crystal Prep. Luckily, Abstract nodded. Does he have to play him in a duel or something? What? Oh, no. Twilight rapidly shook her head. I wouldn't stand a chance against Principal Sombra. Besides, I don't duel much, even before designing my program. Why not? First I asked. There's little point for me. Twilight held over a dual disc. I looked at hundreds of archetypes and themes, and Light Sworn cards have the most preferable combination of speed, versatility, and consistency I've seen. Once I made the choice to focus on them, I spent hundreds of hours fine-tuning my deck around precision. At this level of refinement, I just need to know an opponent's deck type to determine the probability of being able to defeat them or not. Actually doing them is unnecessary. She gave a proud smile as he finished. Wow, Rainbow scratched her face. That sounds so boring. Twice smiled fast. Boring? You're telling me, Biggie exclaimed. You're so funny, you always know how duels are going to go. That's what makes it exciting. Twice pushed her glasses up her nose. I'm sorry, but I don't participate in this game for fun. I study to advance my knowledge of this game, and I take my efforts very seriously. Why bother if you don't enjoy it? Rarity asked. Play paused and blinked. I'm sorry? If you don't enjoy duel monsters, why spend on any time on it at all? I didn't say that, Twilight shook her head. I merely enjoy it on a different level. Each deck is a variable, and each duel is a problem to be solved. She smiled, her eyes distant. It's like when your parents get you a book of math problems for your birthday, and you can't help but stay up all night solving them. We all know how that feels, Rainbow murmured. Twilight couldn't continue, but her phone vibrated. She took hold of it and looked at the screen, stiffened, her eyes wide. Pardon me, I have to go. She stood and bowed her head towards the room. Thank you for speaking to me. She stepped around and quickly burst out of the room. Reggie let out a breath. Well, that was an unexpected encounter. Rainbow stuck her tongue out and faked a gag. I see more like a reminder why Crystal Prep sucks. Just talking about how smart she is and how good her deck is. She's not back to Twilight, mean you, Fluttershy said. Pinky crossed her arms. Did you hear what she said about changing the rules? She's not fun at all. She's like the opposite of fun. She's like some not fun, no fun, not fun, duelist person. Applejack set the forehead. Playkay? Yep. Stop talking. She wants fun? I can give her fun. Abel Springer punched her palm. Whoever I'm against, I'm gonna squash him. We ain't out of this yet. I'm more wondering what she's thinking coming here and asking us questions like that, Abstract frowned. Looks like you're a race Twilight's dual profile, Plankey. That will be a lot of tricky questions. Piggy nodded crisply. Celestia telling you. She said Twilight wasn't actually registered to school, that she would be excused. Piggy held up her hands. Not like it matters now, right? Twilight stepped out of the doors to the parking lot of Caroline High. It descended a short flight of concrete steps to the asphalt. As he crossed the parking lot to the entrance to the field, the limousine for Crystal Prep opened its door. Twilight. Twilight raised her head to the sound of her name, looked to see Radiant Hope holding the door open. She gestured her hand to the limo. Twilight swallowed, already know who was waiting in the back seat. As the ability came forward and rounded Hope to the door assigned the seat. The door was shut behind her. Lowering the limo, Twilight raised her eyes to Principal Sombra, down to looking at the window separating the driver's seat from the passengers. His fingers steepled before his face. In the dim light of the limo, his bright green eyes almost seemed to be glowing.
For what purpose did you access the school database? Sabra whispered.
Twilight licked her suddenly dry lips. I was confused as to why Duelist with such poor dueling statistics had been chosen to represent the school.
And
I wanted to know who won their crown tournament. I could find no record of who it might have been, and all video recordings of that tournament had been removed from the internet.
and
And, Twilight hesitated, that's all. Summer turned his head to look past Twilight. She looked out the window next to her and saw the girls he had been talking to leave the school, walk across the parking lot, not paying any mind to the limo. Summer turned his head forward again and closed his eyes.
I did say to you once before that we should be honest with each other and with ourselves, did I not, Twilight?
Twilight quickly nodded.
Then please then, divulge the real reason you spoke to them.
Twilight paused and looked at the floor of the limo, her eyes sweeping around as he thought for her answer. The winner of the previous tournament had their identity covered up. I could find no information on them. I know several of those girls the winner. They claimed to be friends with them, but they refused to identify him. They just said it was a student who disqualified after because they couldn't win a real student. Now the five of them entered the tournament, despite the fact that their records and skill level make them extremely poor choices for representatives. She shook her head. It's all highly suspicious.
You suspect any further ill-mannered goings on?
Maybe. We already know Sunset Shimmer is cheating, somehow. This could be part of it, or not. I'm not sure. Twilight inhaled. The point is, something strange is happening with Caroline High's duelists. Something they're aware of and covering up and refuse to talk about.
Perhaps. It is also possible that you're embarrassed that an anonymous duelist entered the tournament and defeated them all under a false pretense. It would reflect badly on both student and faculty if an unknown element were to insert themselves into the situation without difficulty, sweep the tournament brackets, and then leave immediately after. Or perhaps the student who won did not desire to have the fame that comes with their win, and asked their identity be concealed.
Both of those scenarios make sense, but I'm not sure that's the case. Twilight furrowed her brow. There's something very strange going on at this school. I can't figure out what, but I know it isn't my imagination. Every scenario I begin to construct to explain the oddities in their behavior fall apart the more I investigate.
An investigation? Summer raised an eyebrow. You seem to be taking these things rather personally, Twilight.
Chelsea problems are the best kind. Makes finding the answer more rewarding.
Summer gave a small smile. You dislike being unable to understand things. You have a very rational mind. It is what makes you a good student. But if you practice strict adherence to what one can only observe with a rational mind, you close yourself off to other possibilities. It would do you very well to accept that perhaps you are overthinking this.
Twilight frowned. I know, but I can't help it. There's a lot of strange things going on at this school, and I know Sunset Simmer and her cards are at the center of it. I just can't figure out how.
I agree entirely.
Twilight pricked up and looked at Sombra. Really?
Sombra nodded, eyes still forward. Yes, certainly. There's something amiss here that warrants further study, and I do believe Sunset Simmer plays a critical role in the suspicious elements you have noted. He turned his eyes to Twilight. For now, if you please, avoid further socialization with those girls. They are up to some sort of nefarious cover-up. It would do us no good to hint we suspect them, and any questioning of them on fact would not serve to that end.
Right, sorry.
Do not apologize. You have done nothing wrong.
Someone reached up a hand to knock on his window.
The door opened immediately. For now, let us return to the field, Twilight. Please do not fret about this further. I'd like to keep your mind on dueling.
Yes, sir. Twilight bowed her head. Sombra stepped out of the limo and moved back, extending a hand to help Twilight with her feet as she emerged. Hope looked at her watch. It is time to end intermission. I'll go inform Vice Principal Luna. She walked briskly onto the field across the grass. Sombra gently put a hand on Twilight's back. Come, let us see who's next to play. Twilight glanced at Sombra. Do you really plan to look at my suspicions?
Indeed. I have a working theory as to what may have happened, but I lack sufficient evidence to support it.
Is there anything I could do to help?
Not at the moment, no. Sombra smiled and looked down at her, but I appreciate your willingness. I do believe the time will come soon when you'll be a great help to me, Twilight.
Twilight blushed. Thank you. The two that reached the field, and Sombra reached his hand, Twilight sitting down. Now that all duelists and officials are present, we can continue the next duelist. The display screen. The 5 remaining duelists on either side had departures begin to flash. Sabra stared at Sabra as he sat down next to Hope. Was he twiligate to twilight just now? There was a fanfare, crowds cheered. A hip-hip squeal drew Sunsет's attention to the bench next to her, where a certain large puff of pink hair inflated larger. The next round of the Friendship Cup is set! Caramel Highs, Pickamini and Pie, they'll face Crystal Preps, Lemon Zest! Ooh, I can't wait.